Today we're going to do my pecan encrusted pork loin roast. This is a recipe I came up with back in 2012. We got a beautiful Chairman's Reserve pork loin here with a gorgeous fat cap on it. It's going to lend a lot of flavor to it. Here's the ingredients you're going to need for the pork loin. Okay, the first thing up, we're going to go ahead and put our pecans into our food processor, and we're going to grind those down pretty good. Now we're going to take our pork loin and we're going to put some coarse kosher salt and a little coarse black pepper on top of that fat cap. Now we put our pecans into a dish. Just going to go ahead, lay our pork loin in there, and we're going to coat this entire pork loin with this pecan. Okay, you want to put it on both ends, all sides. You want to get it as coat as possible. I mean, what could be a better combination than pecans and pork? Now that we got it coated, we're going to sit it on a wire rack. This isn't how we're going to finish cooking it, but this is how we're going to start. We're going to take it out to our Wood Pro. We set that on smoke on P2. We got some fruit wood in there, and we're going to hit it with fruit wood for 30 minutes with some heavy smoke. Now while that's going, we're going to go ahead and take our apples or Granny Smiths and we're going to core those and slice them. I'm going to cut these in about 1/4 inch thick slices. Next we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut our plums. We just run a knife around these and cut them in half and just take that stone out. So there you have all our fruit ready to go. Now we're going to do a little seasoning for the top of this pork loin. We've got some brown sugar in this bowl. I'm going to put in 1/2 teaspoon of allspice. Sprinkle this over this cup of brown sugar and just go ahead and mix it up real good. Now our 30 minutes is up. I'm going to pour our meat out of the smoker. We're going to go ahead and put it into an aluminum foil pan. Now once it's in there, we've got all these apple slices and the plums. We're going to put the apple slices on both sides. We're going to go ahead and take our brown sugar and allspice mixture and we're going to coat the top of this pork loin with it. Okay, that's going to mix in with that pork fat as it renders down, and it's going to add a lot of flavor to our pork loin. Now we put our plums and our apples on there. Time to go ahead and pour some blackberry Merlot wine. We've reserved 2 cups of this for our sauce. We're going to pour the rest of the bottle in there. And then once we do, we're going to seal it up tight in aluminum foil. Make sure you set this aluminum roaster on a pan. We've kicked our Wood Pro up to 325 degrees. We're going to take our pan out and we're going to sit it right in the center. This is going to cook at 325 for 2.5 hours. Okay, here's what you're going to need for our sauce. Now just take a pan, go ahead and put the 2 cups of wine that we reserved in there, and we're going to put our plums in there. Now these are canned plums, get them in any store, but they still have the stones in them, so you're going to have to go ahead and take those out. If you find when you put this in the blender to mix it up, which we're going to do here in a minute, if you hear a rattling noise, you know you missed one. Okay, with that done, we're going to go ahead and put 2 teaspoons of a really good balsamic vinegar in here. You always tell the good stuff because it's nice and thick. The longer it's aged, the thicker it gets, and the more delicious. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and put this into a blender. We're going to blend it down, then we're going to put it in a saucepan, bring it up on heat. We're going to reduce it by 2/3. Now for our side today, we're going to do some Hasselback potatoes. Here's the ingredients you're going to need for those. You're going to take that butter, the olive oil, and the garlic salt, and the pepper, and the chives, and put those in a pan and just melt that down into a nice mixture. Now if you've never done these before, it's real simple. You take a wooden spoon and you set the handles on each side of the potato so you don't cut all the way through, and you just make thin slices all the way down the potato from one end to the other. You let these sit for a little while, they'll open up a little bit, and then we're going to take that mixture and we're going to brush it on there real well. Get it down in between all those slices. There you go, that's what it's supposed to look like when you're done. Going to bake these at 450 degrees for 1 hour. Make sure you take them out and baste them once in a while. Now 2.5 hours later and our pork's done. I'm going to bring it in, stick a thermometer in there, and it's going to be right about 175 degrees. You can see that's just fork tender. That tenderloin is just beautiful. We're going to plate this up with our plums and apples with some of that sauce on our meat. We got a nice little salad there with a balsamic vinaigrette, our potato. Got a nice glass of Pinot Grigio. It's going to match perfect with that nice tart sauce. Enjoy.